Welcome back to my channel. This is the next chapter or next portion of Benevolent Hybrid Reptilian Humans. So I stopped kind of in the middle of a chapter, so I'm going to read the last thing that Treb says. The reason that they have the electromagnetic fields around this is to neutralize and withstand pressures of all nature. This includes going under the water. So this is the same craft we would use, or one that is exactly this, but on a smaller scale to transport ourselves not only around the planet, but across the water or under the water in great lengths if we do not swim this off ourselves. But as we expressed, the size of them are small enough where it is possible to do this with no craft. Oh, I see. You don't have any aquariums or restaurants or houses underwater? Oh no, this is not done. It is only used for the purposes of housing the life and to enjoy ourselves in this way. There is nothing specifically used for this. There is no aquatic equipment that you might see this as. It is not any different for us to travel under, over, or across with the same crafts that we use because our crafts are designed to go to any pressure, any type of atmosphere, which includes atmospheres that represent much greater pressures than you humans have, even at the bottom of your ocean. Jefferson, and when you said you don't use the waters for fun as we do, does that also mean you don't have beaches in your world? No, the waters are spread throughout, and it is very common to have waters within the area of the places that you are living, so it is near to go to the nearest body of water. The fun idea that I would say we do, the fun idea that I said we do not do is the fishing and the boats of this nature. The exercise and the fun in swimming, yes, but we do not have per se beaches. There are gatherings sometimes within families or communities that takes place on the spot. This is not decided this way. This is where it tends to come together. And do you play volleyball or any other water sports? No, there are no sports in the water. There are several games that the young ones might use in the distances of going up and down, who can stay down the longest, or sometimes they try to find each other in the greatest of the depths. Yes, many of the children do this, but there is no sports or competition in that sense in the water. All right, lovely. At some point, I would like, perhaps before the end of the book, to have you to get a couple of children to talk to us. Yes, this will be very easy for me to do. I will have them to speak to you whenever you are ready. Make the host, Chandler, aware of the time that you wish to do that, so I can make sure that they are present, and if not, as they are able to, we make a telepathic connection. That works greatly, though, great distances, so this is possible even if I am not there in the home planet. This is very possible too. So either way, make him aware previously in the night, then this is fine. Well, I think that at this point, our reader's curiosity is satisfied to a good degree. So now we can go on to deeper concepts on other chapters with ideas that we can discuss and learn about with you. Yes. Okay, so for today, I thank you very much, and then I look forward to our next time together this way. Yes, I appreciate your time as well. I leave you in love and light, and I will speak to you again very soon. Much love to you, and thank you. Goodbye. All right, next chapter, which is chapter 3. Good afternoon, Jefferson. It is a lovely day. Yes, it is. And how are you doing on this day? Fantastic. And how are you? I'm doing well, thank you. It is great to be with you again. As to my understanding, the other two spiritual advisors are now ready. Yay, Jefferson says. They are not physically here now, but they are ready to link on. I will be having the connection with the host, but I will be able to transmit their portion of consciousness, that which comes from within them. Uh-huh. So are you going to be able to speak directly to both of them when it is time for this to happen? Sure. I do not know if you have any preferences on how you wish to do this, but if you don't mind any order, no, however you prefer. Because I am the youngest of the three, I might go first after it will be the one who is the older, and we will finish with the oldest, if this is okay with you. This is the way that we will proceed. Absolutely, great. Yes, I wish to speak of the spiritual evolution, and this is the way of the ones who do not understand the levels, and the way of the progression in the spiritual way throughout the densities, not only explaining the densities. I believe that this is done very well, and mostly the ones that understand this material will have an understanding of this. Let us begin with the evolution of the soul. Consciousness is an energy that is most powerful to any degree of electric or power that you can see or perceive. The consciousness comes directly from the non-physical world. This consciousness is perceived as what you would think of as a soul or the higher self of one. This consciousness decides to go into the physical existence. It does this for a reason, to experience. The physical existence is a great existence. The soul decides to do this for the reasons to understand and to have the experience of doing everything within a physical matter. It is much like if you are on a ladder. The highest form of consciousness is the creator. what you would call one who makes all. He is not just one who makes all, but he is all. It is everything, and everything is one. So to give this consciousness the desired, the desired feelings or experiences of everything that there is, he branches off his consciousness into several smaller parts of consciousness. And this continues to go down into the lowest form of consciousness, which would be what you would consider non-physical things, being the rocks that you see, the fire that is burning, the electricity. All of these things are considered to be elemental, and this is what most see as the lowest form of consciousness. This is on the lowest level of the evolution, or want to experience everything that there is to experience in this level. Does not take very long to do. Being elemental involves existence and only existence and feelings of energy. This is not a very long time for you to have to feel this. So the existence from this level of consciousness to the next is very short. And the next level of consciousness is one that you might think of as the living, and it goes from very small parts of life that are considered to be primitive and bacteria and animals. The small animals all the way up to the larger are more smart animals, and it is everything that is in between. Because there is such a variety within this consciousness, because there's such a great degree of difference from the smallest, which is the single cell bacteria or the single cell amoeba, as you see, and all the way up to the dogs or monkeys or any of these animals that you consider to be a higher grade intelligence. This is the great degree. This is why when you see on the evolution of your Earth that you see a great degree from the beginning of life to humanity. If humanity is looked at as a part of the history of the Earth in a progressive time or linear time set, it is but 1 second of a very long period. It is only the blink of an eye, so to say. And this is the next level of consciousness, as to be self-aware, to understand that you have a spirit or a soul, to be self-aware within reality and consciousness. This is the degree of which you are at now. You are only at the ending stages of this awareness. It is not as long as period of either of the two, but still a long time for your race to become ready to move to the next step. Within this, you have varying degrees of life. You have from the beginning of your time what you might see as the caveman, anywhere this all the way to the present day, and you can see the advances within a race due to the time line that is here. You can see the beginning of life being very short with not very many things to do, as I've explained this, and now you live the longer lives because you have more things to do, more connections to make with others. There is a higher degree of population within this density or within this time period, so you must make more relations. You must experience more in life that there is to experience. Then you take the logical way. You have advanced greatly within a short period of time. This also goes to show the willingness to want more, the willingness to want to further yourselves. Unfortunately, as some of you have noticed, this technology can go into both ways, because you are opposite polarities and because you still have the good and the bad, as you would see this as negative or positive within your one being. It is hard to have the conflict within yourself to make your decisions in which way you want to go with everything in life. But technology is one of the greatest parts of this. Some see that technology can be built for great reasons to help others. Some use this for the bad ways, the destruction, the killings, and the wars. And this is the fight that you are having now. This is towards the end of this for that reason alone. You are in your last stage of your evolution so that you can work through these problems. You can work these problems out to which a degree of your problems are. It is not uncommon to have a struggle within, and this is what gives you the daily or day-to-day problems within yourselves. But let me assure you that this will not always be this way, and this is going to greatly depend on yourselves. If you are loving and willing to help others, you will express into what you might see is in the positive way. In positive ways of loving, the positive ways of sharing, to be one not only with your surroundings of nature, but with the community of the fellow man. And if you cannot get past this part of yourself, and you can only love yourself, then it will be much like it is now. It will be more energetic in a way. You will have more issues to deal with loving yourself. Other technologies still come either way, and you use this in the progression of positivity or negativity. As you work through this, you develop what we call fourth density. This is where your soul consciousness is greatly improved or greatly added onto. As I explained to you, the difference in the amount of consciousness that is given from the soul to you will be more increased than the way of a small animal to you now. This is the greatest amount of consciousness that is different than this. So this explains to you how much more of your soul you can use in the next density. This next density is very harmonious in a positive way of this. And the positive density of the fourth, it is much greatly harmonious. This is where you learn to use your heart to the fullest extent. This is where you are able to love all, even the ones that you see as negative or ones who do not mean the best for all and only themselves. You are still able to love them and receive them and accept them. Many of you are working now on this. Many of you are trying to find out all of these issues that are within you, inside of you. And once you accept love, you see what a great benefit this is. And in this fourth density, you will continue your evolution of technology in the positive, where you will be in the technology and raise this very greatly to a degree that is beyond some individual's imagination. Some would express a difference in being 100 times more better than it is here. things happen for a reason, and in the fourth density, you begin to see this. You begin to see that everything becomes harmonious, that there are no need to try to make things happen because they happen. They are meant to happen as your soul desires them to. And the progress of this soul into the next density that you go is the density where I am now. And this is the fifth density. The density to us is very different than the fourth, not because we do use the heart to love all. This is something that is mastered within the fourth density, but this is more of a progression of learning all that we are able to learn and being able to do this for the benefit of all others. So we do this. This is why when I speak of the jobs that we have, I mean to say there are responsibilities to us because we decide to do this to help others. We take this very seriously. I spoke to you of the war that we have had in the fourth density before we came to the fifth density. This war was a great war that was with the Ancient Reptilians, and this war was one that put us in place to evolve into the fifth density. The reason that this helped us evolve is because before the war, we were all in loving, but we were not taking things very seriously. We were only doing things that were fun for us and then things that were of love for others. And this is not bad, but this is where we were at. And because of this war, we understood that of the destruction of our planet, that we all had to have specific duties, that we all had to have specific jobs that we do to help others in a more stable manner. Even though we picked the odd jobs, even though we all had everything that was needed to be done, this made this imprinted into us even more. So we try to learn more technologies. We try to understand the workings of the universe even better than we do in the fourth density because we continue to learn. And this is where I am now in the next density that is above us. Or you, I think he meant. This is specifically for our race. We do split the density that most consider to be fifth into two different parts because they are so very different. Some consider a non-physical existence to be in the sixth density, but this is not the way that we have this. There is one more step after ours before the non-physical existence begins, and this is greatly for the reasons of the things that we are doing. The greatest reason between the fifth and sixth for us is the ability to not only love and learn, but to explore more areas. Usually we stay within the galaxy. This is where we feel that our home is. This is where we feel that it is important to help others. In the sixth density, there begins to have more traveling outside of the galaxies. We have more meetings with each other, with other races. There are certain laws that dictate specific galaxies. Not laws in this way, for there is only one law in the universe, but as in specific leadership areas. There are different ones per galaxy. These are the ones that we use that are outside of the galaxy. That is this connection that we make with sixth. The sixth density is about a widely spread communication with other races that are not only in our galaxy alone. And this is the main difference. Some races see no difference in this, but this is important to our race because going outside of the galaxy is something that is not done at the beginning of what you would see as the fifth density, perhaps, or in the fifth density in our way of seeing this. After the sixth density is over, it comes back to the non-physical existence. This is where your soul goes back to. This is where you are able to understand every existence that you have had. This is where you are able to perceive everything. In one way, it is said that you are plugged back into the full existence, all of creation, to everything in physical and non-physical existence. This is where you re-emerge with your soul. When you live your life and say, how can I re-emerge into my soul? I am my soul, but the life that you live now is one small portion of your soul. When I speak of growing consciousness with every step of growth that you take, it is because you use more of your soul in this existence. As different from fourth to fifth, you use much more of your soul, and the difference from fifth to sixth, you use more of your soul, but you never use all of this. The way that you understand time is not the true way of time. The time is not a solid linear idea. It is one that is flexible, and it is sliding in all directions. So you are able to see all of this when you get into the higher densities. But this is important to understand because in the soul's way of seeing this, all existence that you have happens right now. It is not about previous lives or past lives or future lives. They're all lives that are existing now. And this is hard for one in your density to understand or to see sometimes, but this is the true nature of what it is. And this is why you do not have all of your soul in the one consciousness. Further on throughout, you begin to manifest yourself into physical reality once you have integrated into that seventh density, and there are many levels you do this with. In physical existence, you will become what is equivalent in the physical existence to a star. Sometimes your consciousness spreads throughout several stars. Once you evolve throughout this non-physical, at this physical manifestation of your existence, you are able to grow consciousness into complete galaxies, and this does not happen soon. This happens over stretches of what in your time seems to be billions of years. So you grow your consciousness still in the non-physical existence. The point that I'm making here is this. It is not that you're existing just to exist. This is not a game. This is the evolution of your soul. The evolution of you as a spiritual, physical, non-physical, and energetic being. All the evolution that is within this is from your soul. The days that you see hard times coming, or the days you see or feel that you are disconnected, I want to assure you that you are not disconnected at all. You are always a part of all that will be and all that is now. The only difference that you will experience is how much closer to this that you feel. Every density, it becomes easier to feel this connection. When you get into non-physical, you have this existence and you feel this, and even throughout the non-physical, while you manifest yourself into physical, you understand more. You understand and feel more of the connection of the Creator. I want you all to know that when you feel hopeless and you feel that things will not work out, this is part of your growth. This is why you feel this way. It is because you must. But when to start to use your heart to truly love, and when you start to understand that you are part of all that is, that you are the same as all of the things that you see as bigger than you, it becomes much easier to handle this. It becomes much easier to accommodate these feelings and know that there is hope. This is all I wish you to understand. This is what I want all of you to experience. The connection that you do have, this is what I wish to share for today. Lovely. Thank you very much, Treb. Thank you. Yes, I will hand this over now. I know for name's sake, you must have a different name for the different entity. Yes. So we will call this one Treb Bor yit-NE, and he will be the one that is older than I am. Okay, great. One moment, I will let him receive the energy through the post. Okay, can you tell us perhaps his age? Yes, he would be in the age of your 490, what? He would be in the age of your 491. Okay, so he's 491 years old. One moment. Hello. Hi, how are you? I'm doing well. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for having me communicate with you as well. Yay. I will go by the name Tyke for you. Okay. I wish to speak to you today of the relationships with others and the way that this connects you better to your soul. For this is one of the greatest reasons of the impediment of the growth of your race. The ones who are disconnected from themselves within this race are highly disconnected from the ideas of fear or hatred. Hatred comes from fear. The reason I wish to speak of this is that you can overcome this with connections when you have relationships with others. I will explain this in a better way. When you have a relationship with others, you build them to have love. Subconsciously, without the understanding of this, you actually grow a connection within yourself. When you have a connection with another, it is truly a connection with yourself. For the other one you build the connection with is truly yourself. You manifest your reality in a very specific way in a physical existence. Every entity that is on the planet that you are standing on now is together. They are all one collective consciousness. This collective consciousness has different representations of all. As Treb explained when he explained the non-physical existence, each one is connected to their own soul. But the level that is above these souls is what you would call the collective consciousness. This collective consciousness allows many souls to be together as one, plugged back into the oneness. The communication between all souls is what causes the collective consciousness of all beings. Because all of the souls that are on Earth now have chosen to be there as a group, growing together, you are all the same. So building these relationships with others, and it is important to see that the ones who are others for you and different from you, these are the most important relationships to grow for one reason. Because when you go with relationships with many who are not like you, who have opposing views or issues from them, then this lets you adapt to parts of yourself that you are not willing to accept. This is important. This is the importance of collective consciousness in a gathering of friendships. The love that you feel for these others is very important because of the way that love helps your soul. When you love, it is not just the physical acceptance or a physical betterment of you. It is full soul betterment. There are many different ways that love can make you physically improved, if you will say it as this. Yes, improve is probably the best term to use for this. When you love in the body, your physical body is not hurt. Unlike when it is a different way for fear or hatred, it breaks down the body. But love helps improve the health. It helps make the organs that are within stronger because, once again, the physical is a manifestation of the soul. The soul experiences this love, and because of the love being such a great way to express these feelings, that it outwardly manifests better physical existence. It becomes healthier for you, but not only in a physical way, the spiritual way is just as important, if not more important. When you connect with these ones that you love, it is happiness that is within you, inside you. And this is the way of the manifestation of yourself into the positive ascended difference. When you do this and when you love, you are giving yourself off pure conscious desire to connect with others. This love is what helps you ascend in the positive way. This is the existence of the positive ascension, is love. This is the main ingredient for this. Love is one that is through every system you know of and every system that you do not know of. Love is the only thing that exists in all densities, dimensions, worlds, galaxies, universes. This is the only thing that exists in all of this, besides light. This is why Mr. Treb Bor and the Rob both use the term of love and light, because these are the only two things that go into different systems. When I mean systems, I wish to explain that systems are any different existences that you are not aware of or used to. Different dimensions, different densities, different universes, as I said. Now, this light and love are there for a reason. This is because this is the energy that the Creator is made of. So that when you are using something that you are made of to your benefit, this promotes healthiness in relationships and in any ways of living in general. I wish to express this mostly for the relationships that are understood and many of the other lives that Rob has been connected to and that Treb or yit-NE has connected to. There has been many broken relationships. When you break relationships and when there is friction or disharmony in the relationship, it is for one reason, because this is the part of yourself that you cannot yet accept. This is a part of you that you are not willing to look at. In the density that you are in, it is very hard for you to have two sides, one that is of love and one of that is disconnected from the love. I do not wish to say that I envy this, because I do not. I am happier to be where I am now because I understand the hardships that come with this. But you must understand... Sorry, my phone's ringing. You must understand that going through these hardships makes you who you are. I know that the Rob has many issues that he has had in his life, the severed relationships through many different experiences that he has had, and this is the general consensus. Many people that we have made contact with within many different third density realities have this issue. It seems to be most prevalent in people who do not love and whom it is harder for them to love. And in building relationships built of love in a positive way, this is the greatest point that I wish to express to you. When you look into those relationships, you will see more of yourself by seeing more of yourself. This might help you to accept more of yourself, because this is another issue of disconnection. Not accepting who you are or what you are doing, where you are at in any emotional or in any evolutionary way. This is the way most do not accept but should. It is important that when you see inside, you see love and you see happiness. This is the way to progress. It is not bad if you do not for your own purposes. I cannot express that I do not wish to see anyone in this state, but this is your issue if you are not able to love, because this is where your soul is, and this is where your soul is. I do not want to come across as if I am judging anyone. My understanding is not very well accepted there, so I am not judging this. But this is a better way if you do not want to have a word that has two forces that fight against each other. What is this word? Jefferson says. Tyke says, this is the conflict that is within, and this is what I do not wish for anyone. And this is why the relationships with others, the ones that you do love and the ones that you do not consider that you might love. To build relationships, to keep them strong, to love in all times. This is what the expression is meant to be. I cannot think of a better word. This is the first time in this connection with one from your race. I will not dwell on this. Do you understand the meaning, sir? Yes, thank you. Yes, to make your connection stronger, it is how to make yourself stronger in this way. This is what I wanted to share. Okay, well, we still have a couple of minutes to go with you. I may as well perhaps ask a couple questions? Sure. So what are you saying is that we must respect where we are and take it from there? Yes, this is exactly correct. If you do not accept where you are not accepting yourself and not loving yourself. And the connection of love is the important one. This is what makes you progress. And then when you say love other people, you don't necessarily mean to go up to those people you disagree with or dislike. That is part where you say respect yourself, loving the others as you work harder on yourself, so that tomorrow you can approach other people in a loving way. Yes, this is what you must do, even if you do not love them as you love your family. Okay, you must still respect them and do what you can to help them. Whether they agree with you or not is not the issue. If they do not agree with you and it is something that is very abrasive against you, there is reason for this as well in this. It is because it is something that is inside of you that you are either afraid to be or do not like about yourself in most ways. Jefferson. So when we have negative emotions, then it's because we are looking at the situation the way our higher mind wouldn't? Yes, this is a very good way to say this. Yes. I see, Jefferson. So in that sense, we have to acknowledge that love is all there is. Then all we have to do is to feel love for another person. Respecting where we are if we can't get close to that person today. If we have to respect where we are, we don't get close to that person, but then we work harder on ourselves so that tomorrow we can get closer to other people, respecting and understanding them while we are the example they need of that excellence we can't immediately find in them. Yes, that is the best way to put it. But if there is something to add to this, I would say whether you are able to contact them or not, with certain relationships, you cannot stay in contact with certain ones. Because they bring out the worst parts of you. They make you upset or go against your love. So you love them from a distance. Just because you do not agree with them or do not feel love for them in a way that you consider to be loving or respectful, love them from a distance. Still send them love whether you would like them or not. It is the best word I can say. Send them love and respect that they are different from you. This is the way you grow. Jefferson. And when you speak about past lives and collective consciousnesses, do you mean that to say that the soul, when it is going through the rebirth process to reincarnate in a physical world, it chooses the environment which it can grow with, right? Yes, it picks out the greatest point of growth or the best way that it can grow within the parameters of its own wishes. Some souls want to live in existence in universes that you would not see as physical, so they manifest themselves within this universe, or they see a system that is of physical. Every different universe has different laws as you see physics, but the one constant is love, and one other constant is light. So whether a soul wishes to do this or not, it will go into a system that is most prevalent for its growth and better accepted in the way of full potential growth. Jefferson. But then when the person reincarnates, for instance, in the same planet, say for example, myself or Rob, these individuals that come to a third density Earth, they usually are born in places where they can find the people that they have lived with in another opportunity so that they can catch up on things that they did wrong in the past, or in order to work out some ideas that the people would help them with in that particular life. So in that sense, I mean that when we come into this physical incarnation, then we set up the environment so that we can grow spiritually. Yes, this is the way to see this. This is true. It is very well explained. When in between lives, you have to do this. If you are looking at this in a linear way, you have to work out all of the issues. This is why that you have the ghost, disembodied souls that are on your planet and walk around. These are spirits who have not made peace with their previous departed life. When you look at this in a linear fashion, you are correct. They have not made peace. They have not even attempted to go back to the soul or go back into the area of afterlives and work this out. Once this is worked out, it goes back into the next existence so that it can experience something that it did not have a chance to in the previous incarnation. Jefferson. So when the person comes here and lives a situation that they consider to be negative or a bad situation, some people attribute this to karma or the hatred of God punishing his creation, but it is not really that, right? It is our consciousness that put ourselves in these situations so that we can work out our shortcomings of past times and previous uninformed choices. Yes, so you can do what it is like to have this experience and to try to figure out how to overcome these shortcomings, as you say. This is a very great way to express this. But along with this, you must also add that if it is not worked out in one lifetime, it is definitely experienced, but might be experienced in a negative way, that you see it for a reason, because it needs a negative experience as well. Not only to overcome it, but to experience the negativity for the negative experience's sake. Oh, I see. So sometimes you don't come necessarily to live a negative experience because you need it, but you can have that as an experience for you, because once you go through a particular experience and overcome it, then you know for sure you are above that. Yes? Yes, this shows you that you are not willing to ascend to a negative density. Yes. Whoa, I see. So do you have any parting thoughts that you would like to share with us? I just thank you for your time, and if you take anything from what I said, know this: all issues and differences dissolve, for they are you. To make peace with others is to make peace with yourself, and this is the easier way for progression, not only for the soul, but the way you feel on a daily basis. Yes. Lovely, fantastic. Thank you very much for your visit, and have yourself a wonderful life. Thank you. That's it for today, you guys. Thanks for visiting, and I will see you next time.